Hi, everybody. That's Allie.
And that is Dash.
Welcome to our Playdate,
where we choose a game, sometimes make up our own rules, and play for a while.
Enjoy listening and playing along.
Or don't. We can't hear you. It's a podcast.
All right, I'm ready. You ready?
Ready. Born ready. Always
Awesome.
Ready.
All right. Hey, little ghosties.
Hey.
Hi. We are playing today Fact or Fire by Game Zonky.
It's a great name for it.
That is a great name.
Yeah.
For a company, Game Zonky.
Also, Fact or Fire is a great name.
Yeah. I think it's a zombie donkey
That's fun.
or a zombie monkey, maybe.
It's fine.
Zonky. I don't know. Yeah, but this it looked really interesting and it was on sale, so I bought it.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds like a
Valid.
good game. So this game is normally supposed to be played by 3 to 8 plus players, but we don't have that.
Yeah, we are 2.
We are but 2. And the way this works is you pick up a card. It's got 3 facts on it. You're supposed to come up with a fake fact. And then the other players are supposed to try to guess which fact is the fake fact. If they guess correctly, then your turn is over. If they guess incorrectly, you get points. So, we roll dice to see who goes first.
These dice are really cool. I like that they're black and red.
They're black and red. Yeah, they're really nice. All right, ready? And
Look at a 6 and you got something?
4. All right, so Allie, I guess you get to choose. You go first or second?
I'll go second.
Okay. So we have split up the decks into the different categories. So what we're going to do is, because we play by our own rules, we're just each going to do one off of each category.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. All right, so I'll start over here. And cool. Let me read the facts that are here. Okay, so this is, the category is places.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are we going to write it down or you want to just make it up?
I just want to make it up. We're going to improvise, Allie. That's what we do.
What?
That's what we do. Yeah. All right. So this is places.
Places. Okay.
The national anthem is played twice a day in Thailand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greece records 2 earthquakes a year. Mexico's official name is the United Mexican States. The Philippines has an average of 20 earthquakes per day. Which one of those is not a real fact?
I sincerely hope it's the Philippines having 20 earthquakes a day. That seems like an exhausting nightmare.
Yeah.
Is that fake?
That is real.
No, absolutely not. Get out of the Philippines.
The Philippines is an average.
Wait. Let me think. The Philippines are very long and it's a bunch of islands.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like it's necessarily the same island having an earthquake every single day 20 times.
Also, an earthquake doesn't necessarily need to be like a 5 point whatever. It could be.
But that is a true nightmare.
Like
also,
a tiny
but I think
shiver.
the Philippines is like volcanic islands, so I guess maybe it would make sense because,
Tectonic plates and such.
Yeah, plates, lava, magma.
Yeah.
Volcanoes.
Words, continents. Yes.
Geothermal energies.
So the fake one was that Greece records 2 earthquakes a year.
See, I wanted that to be true, and I wanted them to have more. And then like, do you guys want to record this one or no? Okay, cool.
No, we're not going to record this one.
No. I'm tired. I have a
hard time doing the Greek accent, but I'm working
I don't know.
on it.
I'm gonna learn it. There's some great videos on YouTube to learn accents. So.
All right.
Okay.
So Allie is now going to.
I also don't think it's the United
Mexican.
I think it's the United States of Mexico, is what it actually is, isn't it?
Oh, it says here Mexico's official name is the United Mexican States.
That might be a poor translation. The United States of Mexico.
Los Estados Unidos de México. I guess, in Spanish, because you don't have personalization in Mexico in Spanish.
I don't know. Maybe it's just wrong. Anyway.
Los Unidos Mexicanos Estados. Yeah. Los Estados Mexicanos Unidos. That's probably where it is.
Right.
Which is the States Mexican United, but you obviously you flip it in English. So yeah, it might be the United Mexican States.
Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, so this is also places.
Uh-huh. And Allie's gonna read the
And I'm
3.
gonna read
And she's gonna
4
make
facts.
one up.
That's right.
Yeah.
In South Africa,
Uh-huh.
traffic lights are called robots.
Okay.
Shampoo originated in India.
Okay. The hard part about this is you want to make it look like you're reading the fact that's fake off the card. Maybe we should write them down.
Okay. Sorry.
Mhm.
What were the 2 already?
You did the shampoo was invented in India.
Shampoo?
And the other one about
in South Africa.
Oh, in South Africa, streetlights are called robots.
Traffic lights are called robots.
Okay.
Mandarin Chinese is the world's most spoken language.
Uh-huh.
Canada is the country with the most uninhabited land.
Okay. So I know the Canada one is true. I want to say I think shampoo was invented in India. Oh boy. I'm going to say it's the third one. God, what was the third one?
It was Canada, India, China, and South Africa.
China. Mandarin is the world's most spoken language. That's false.
That's 100% true.
That's true.
So
really?
I made up the Canadian one, but it might actually be true. I made it up. It's not in the card.
But it
might actually be a fact that's real.
It may also be Antarctica.
It could be Antarctica. It also might be Australia, because a lot of Australia is uninhabited.
Yeah, but Australia's not bigger than Canada.
It's not bigger than Canada.
And like the only parts that are inhabited in Canada are like the little low ones that are near the US, really.
Yeah, there's stuff up north. There is. I met some people when I was traveling who like lived in a city that you had to take an airplane to.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't get there another way.
I mean, they had to use sled dogs, right?
Right, yeah. Like, basically, it was like you go to the biggest airport and then you just hope for the best after that.
Oh, man, my flight got canceled. Well, I guess I'm going to wait a week.
So I'm going to go to the hardware store and see if Frank can take me in his private plane. Yeah, I totally made up the Canada one, but it might have actually been real. So, whoops.
Okay.
Are you keeping track of score? Is that what you're doing?
No.
What are you doing?
I'm writing it down so it looks like I'm reading. I'm writing down my fact. So this is going to be a food fact. Here's the problem is that I know a lot of facts about random things.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to like
make up a fake
one when I want to just write down a real one.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've got this one down. Okay. Banter or something.
Banter. I am bantering. I am watching Dash write down. Okay. What are the dice for again? Do we know?
It's
just to go
from
first?
what I read in the instructions to see who goes first.
Okay. Love that.
Okay. I'm ready.
Great.
All right, Allie, in no particular order. The filling in Kit Kat bars are made from Kit Kat bar crumbs. Number 2.
What?
Yeah, okay. The filling in Kit Kat bars.
But you had to have a Kit Kat bar in order to make a Kit Kat bar then.
Look, I'm just reading it.
Okay.
The filling in Kit Kat bars are made from Kit Kat bar crumbs. Figs are flowers, not fruits.
I think that's true.
Mystery Airheads are actually no flavor. Cucumbers are 95% water. Which one of these is fire fact?
So cucumbers, I think, is real.
Uh-huh.
Figs, I think, is real.
Uh-huh.
I'm not an Airheads eater or enjoyer in any way, so that
Mm-hmm.
one I would have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was about, what was the other one?
The filling in
filling in
Kit Kat
Kit Kats?
bars are made from Kit Kat bar crumbs.
That's wild because you have to have a Kit Kat in order to make a Kit Kat.
Right, which came first, the Kit Kat or the Kit
Or
Kat
the Kit
filling?
Kat filling. Right, exactly. I'm going to say the Kit Kat one, although I secretly suspect it's the Airheads one.
Okay, it is actually the Airheads one.
Yeah.
So
I don't eat Airheads. I'm not a candy person. I'm
I
a
know you're
chocolate
not, yeah.
person. And
Mhm.
even then, if I got to have candy, it's not going to be an Airhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a fact that I changed slightly to make it a fire fact. The mystery flavor of Airheads. So when you grab yourself a mystery flavored Airhead, what you're actually getting is the cross between whatever flavor was just in there with the flavor that's coming in next. So while the machine is turning over from one flavor to the next, that in between flavor is the mystery flavor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Are you want to write down? Or,
No. I got it. Okay.
I won't look at you, so I can't tell when you're reading or not.
40% of the produce in the USA is not sold because it's, quote, too ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Ketchup
Mm-hmm.
is originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Missouri. Okay.
Americans eat about 500 million pounds of peanut butter annually.
Okay.
Roughly 70,000 saffron flowers make 1 pound of saffron spice.
So I think the fake one is the ketchup is from St. Louis.
Yes, that's totally fake. Ketchup is actually based on fish sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it was used as toothpaste at one point.
Was it?
Not ketchup, but tomatoes.
Yeah. No, it was based on fish sauce. Like
really?
Somebody was traveling in Asia and it was called, yeah.
Tell me more about
history of it.
Tell me more about ketchup.
It's fascinating, and it came from like fish sauce, and then I think because Americans, they were like, what if we put a bunch of sugar and vinegar and tomato in it, and so it kind of like adapted and became the ketchup that we know.
Do you know what the difference is between ketchup and ketchup?
Is there a difference? I know the difference between a casket and a coffin. That I could tell you.
What's the difference between a casket and a coffin?
Casket is like square.
Oh, I see. And the coffin is that
rectangle. Like coffin is the one,
polygon.
Yeah, that has it looks like it has the head and shoulders to it. That's a coffin. Like what Dracul comes out of is a coffin. Yeah, casket's just square. Facts.
Yeah, facts.
Things.
Okay, so now I'm going to be reading the animals card.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, here we go. Ready for this? Here's the thing. I think you're going to know this because one of the real facts is a fact that we did on another show. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Some frogs can freeze without dying. Dogs can't look up. Pigeons can do simple math. A grizzly bear's bite is strong enough to crush a bowling ball.
So I know a grizzly bear's bite is strong enough to crush a bowling ball. And
because we did that on a previous show.
We did it on a previous show. It's a nightmare. I would love to teach a pigeon math. I feel like we have a baby pigeon at work. I've named it Devin because what is funnier than a pigeon named Devin? Yeah. I do not know. I want to make it my pet.
Mm-hmm.
And teach it math. And then obviously I will develop that into a crow friend because that is a goal in life.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah. I feel like I just want to live in the world where everyone just has like a crow friend.
Yes. Agreed.
And the crow doesn't have to live in my house.
Right.
But the crow is around me.
Mm-hmm.
The crow watches over me.
Yeah.
I bring the crow gifts. The crow brings me gifts.
Agreed. Yes.
That's all I want.
Yeah. This is my goal in life.
Yeah.
That will be my goal this year is to make a crow friend.
Make a crow friend.
Yes. I just bought a crow call on Temu and it came in and I need to figure out a routine where like every morning I do like 2 crow calls and leave a little piece of bread.
Do a little walk, a little call,
mm-hmm.
a little snack for a crow, Leave it like a glimmering treasure. Yeah. We're going to have a crow friend by the end of the year. Okay. Okay. So the bird one, the bear one, those are both true. Dogs can look up. I don't know what that really means. Like, can they move their head up? Yes, they can. Can they move their eyeballs up in the way that humans can? I don't know. I've never paid attention, but dogs can look up. That's a thing.
And some frogs can freeze without dying?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's dogs can't look up. They can look up.
Dogs can look up.
That was from Shaun of the Dead. There you go.
Okay, so animals.
Yeah, these are animal. This is going to be animal facts.
It is.
Yeah, we know about the grizzly bear biting. Because I remember we had this whole conversation of how do you get a grizzly bear to bite down on a bowling ball? And then we decided that it was like, no, you just figure out how many pounds are in a grizzly bear bite and see what that can crush.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Almost half of the world's pigs are kept by farmers in China.
Interesting.
Bats are the only mammals that have true flight.
As opposed to gliding, right? I know that's a fact.
Axolotls may be immortal.
Okay.
Some tarantulas can survive for over 2 years without food.
Okay. So right now I'm in between the pigs in China and the axolotls are immortal. I know that I've read stuff about certain animals possibly being immortal. I don't remember if axolotls were one of them. It's
right. It's like they could possibly be immortal until something
kills it. Yeah.
Kills it.
Right.
Yeah. And which is usually what happens. They live a super long time and then something.
Like I know there are jellyfish. Right. And like there's sharks that'll just continue going until something kills it.
Right. Yeah. And they've measured like hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah. Like tortoises too. Like tortoises just keep going.
Right.
And there are some jellyfish that will like get to a certain age and then revert back to its.
Yeah, they like make clones of themselves.
Yeah. And it's like functionally immortal because it like rebirths itself, but it's like it's a clone copy of it. Right. So it's like the same genetic makeup.
I am telling you, the aliens are not in the sky; they're in the water. The aliens are in the water.
They're in the water.
No one's talking about it. I'm going to talk about it. The aliens are in the water. We are looking in the wrong place.
All right. I think it's the axolotl is the fire fact.
You're correct. It's actually lobsters.
The lobsters are the other ones.
It's hypothesized that lobster are immortal.
Yeah, they'll just live forever until something eats it.
Yeah, the older they get, they move more slowly and therefore they get eaten.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But lobsters are maybe immortal.
Wow. That's wow. So this is humans.
Okay.
Humans.
Less fun than animals.
Yes.
To be fair.
Okay. I'm writing down a fact. Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Yes.
The official medical term for burping is eructation. Eructation.
That one has to be real because you said it so many times.
So many times. Identical twins have different fingerprints. The oldest human that lived on record was 135 years old. And on average, Americans spend 25 years of their life sleeping.
I think it's the oldest person. I don't think anyone's made it to 130. I think the oldest person was something like 124, 122.
Very good. Yeah. The oldest living person is 135. Is the fake fact.
It's fake. Yeah.
Yeah. So on average, Americans spend 25 years of their life sleeping. I feel like that's a skewed fact.
That's like if you sleep 8 hours.
Right. Yeah. Because
who does that?
Right. With an average lifespan of 75 years, if you sleep for 8 hours a day, it comes out to about 25 years of your life. Yeah, but let's be honest, we're all living a lot longer these days. Thank goodness. And who sleeps 8 hours?
We're living longer and sleeping less. That's what we're doing. That's where we are.
Yeah. I think post millennials, humans spend like 5 years of their life sleeping. The official medical term for burping is eructation. If you know Spanish, you know this is probably true because in Spanish, to burp is called eructir. Yes. So it's the same in Latin, right? And identical twins do have different fingerprints.
Yeah, they sure do.
Okay. Allie, go ahead.
Okay. There's weird sounds in the
I know, it's my upstairs neighbors. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. Okay, so speaking of fingerprints.
Yes.
Some people are born without fingerprints.
Okay.
You cannot breathe and swallow at the same time.
Okay.
All redheads are genetically related.
Uh-huh.
Some people carry a gene in which their armpits never smell.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so for everybody who just tried to do this, listening to this in the car, breathe and swallow at the same time is true. You can't do that at the same time.
You also can't sneeze with your eyes open.
You also can't sneeze with your eyes open.
I've tried that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like all redheads are genetically related. They all came from like one mutation. What was the last one?
Your armpits don't smell? A gene where your armpits don't smell?
That one is false.
That one is real.
That one's real. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Yes, that one was real. The other one is false. Yes. But I got it wrong.
Born without fingerprints?
Born without fingerprints, yeah.
That was also real.
That was a real one?
Redheads is totally fake.
The redheads is false. Really? Fascinating.
I totally made it up.
I feel like that's a real thing.
Like sorry, redheads out there.
All those redheads just came from one person named Ginger.
Yeah. Rogers, fun fact.
Rogers, wow.
Okay.
O'Hara's, if you will.
No, didn't Genghis Khan have like
oh my god,
reddish hair or something? But
really?
we're like all kind of related to Genghis Khan.
We're all a little bit related to Genghis Khan.
What's this category, Dash?
This category is history.
History. Okay.
History.
Let's make up some fun history facts, shall we?
Let's see here.
That would be wild. Born without fingerprints? Like, you could just commit any crime. Well, I guess you still have DNA, but like...
Yeah.
No fingerprints, your armpits don't stink. Like, get out there and live your best life, my friends.
Yep.
Are your fingers just smooth?
Yeah, it'd be weird. Like, how do you grip onto the side of things?
I mean, you still have fingers. I guess. Although, I guess some people are born without fingers, in which case you would not have fingerprints. But I'm assuming that statement means that these people are born with fingers and therefore fingerprints, but they do not have fingerprints. Weird.
Yeah.
If you don't have fingerprints, tell us about it. Thank you. Got it?
I'm trying to think of a good one. Because again, I just keep thinking about real facts.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's the hardest thing. So I'm trying to like think of a fact I know and then change one thing.
Right.
That's what I did with the axolotls. I was like, oh, you just found out lobsters live forever.
Yeah.
So just pick a different animal.
But
they do study axolotls because they have a really cool regenerative quality.
Mm-hmm.
And
they do, yeah.
Yeah, and they think that they may be able to, they being, I don't know, scientists, may be able to like unlock that power of regeneration that axolotls have.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, neighbors are moving furniture upstairs.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have one. Okay, ready? Here we go.
I'm ready. So history, right?
This is history. Okay. Cleopatra, who we just talked about in a previous episode.
Yeah.
Lived closer to the birth of the oldest living shark on record than the pyramids. President Zachary Taylor died from a cherry overdose.
A cherry overdose?
Yes. Not like a cherry lozenge overdose, just cherries. A tug of war was once an Olympic sport.
That's true. 100%
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
1920 Olympics.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
Wow. Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of rabbits.
Okay, I want the Napoleon thing to be true. I want it to be true 100%. I'm going to think about it when I go to sleep tonight. Just all 5'7" of Napoleon and his big old hat just being like
Run away!
mobbed by bunnies.
Run away! Allons-y! Allons-y!
Allons-y! I think the Cleopatra thing is true.
Uh-huh.
Because I've seen there's like one of those things like 15 facts that'll bend your sense of time, and it's always something about Cleopatra and the pyramids, and like she's not close to them.
Right.
But the oldest living shark on record, I don't know how old that shark is, probably like 100. So yeah, the Cleopatra thing I think is true. The tug of war thing definitely true. What were the other two? The Napoleon thing, I want that to be true.
Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of rabbits.
Oh, an overdose of cherries.
And President Zachary Taylor died from a cherry overdose.
Okay, the only reason I'm entertaining that even might be true is because if you eat too many cherries, something happens in your gut.
Uh-huh.
And it's not fun.
Yeah.
And back in the days without medicine, perhaps...
Yeah.
If you were going through that and maybe not drinking water, you might die. So, I want the Napoleon thing to be true so much. I'm going to say it's the Zachary Taylor thing.
The Zachary Taylor thing is true. President Zachary Taylor died from a cherry overdose.
Amazing.
Napoleon Bonaparte was once attacked by a horde of rabbits.
I love it. Amazing.
And we need to look that up now.
Cleopatra?
Cleopatra lived closer to the oldest shark than the pyramids. That is incorrect. Cleopatra. So the fact that you're thinking of is that she lived closer to
the space.
I want to say, man landing on the moon than the finishing of the pyramids. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's basically saying that the pyramids are so old that, Cleopatra lived closer to the moon landing in 1969.
Sure. Okay. I see you did that. That was smart. That was a good tactic.
Thank you.
That was a good tactic. Also, just Napoleon being attacked by bunnies is what a delight. What a delightful situation.
Allons-y!
Allons-y! Okay.
What do you call bunnies in French? Boonies.
No. No, I think they're...
It's not conejos because that's Spanish, but I don't think it's one of those.
Yeah, I feel like there's a dish that's rabbit, and if I could think of the name of the dish, that would probably be rabbit in French or something close to it.
Because the language of the kitchen is French.
Okay. So.
Yes.
Ooh.
La la.
During the Ottoman Empire, coffee was banned as a narcotic.
Okay.
Popcorn was once widely banned in movie theaters. Beer was banned in Iceland in 1989.
Okay.
Vodka was banned in Poland during the Second World War.
Ooh, okay. I want to say the popcorn one is false.
You want to say it or you're going to say it?
I'm going to say it. The popcorn one is false.
Totally true.
Damn. But what was a fake one?
Vodka being banned in Poland.
Vodka being banned in Poland. All right.
Totally made it up.
I figured it was like a war thing.
Yeah, totally just made that up. Just
made it up.
Made it up.
All right. Here we go. So this is laws. Laws. Okay.
That's funny. Mine was history, but all of them were about things being banned. They were actually kind of about laws.
Interesting. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Yes.
It is illegal to feed pigeons in Venice, Italy.
Oh, that might be true.
It is.
That might be true.
It is illegal
Mm-hmm.
in Atlanta, Georgia, to tie your gator to a fire hydrant.
I mean, it seems valid.
It is illegal to buy or sell chewing gum in Singapore.
That might be true.
And it's illegal to bathe in a city-owned fountain in Mobile, Alabama.
So I know there's a thing with gum in Singapore. At
Really?
least. I don't know if it's like a real thing or just like a thing that's on the internet that people say all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a thing with gum in Singapore.
Interesting.
And I feel like you going, interesting, is you telling me that you made up the fact about buying and selling gum in Singapore.
Why do you think that?
Well, I feel like a lot of these are just laws that like no one's hitching up a gator to a post in Atlanta, but it's still like technically on the books. Although why you would have a gator in Atlanta?
I have a real fun fact about some of these.
That seems like more of like a swamp state situation, like a Florida or like a Louisiana. I don't think there's a lot of swamp area in Georgia, so that doesn't really make that much sense, I guess. So I'm in between Singapore and
just talk it out.
I'm in between Singapore and Atlanta. It was Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll say Atlanta only because I think it's actually horse. Like you can't hitch your horse up outside in Atlanta.
Okay.
Not your gator.
That is correct. The Atlanta one is made up. Yes.
Yeah.
In Mobile, Alabama, it is illegal to bathe in a city-owned fountain. It is illegal to buy or sell chewing gum in Singapore, though it doesn't explain why. It's illegal to feed pigeons in Venice, Italy. I can imagine
that
why
one I knew.
True.
That one I knew.
And it's illegal to tie a gator to a fire hydrant. That's the fake one. And that actually comes from a law in Jupiter, Florida.
Yes.
That is, you are not allowed to hitch an elephant to a parking meter. And do you know why that law exists in Jupiter, Florida?
Because one in Jupiter, because it was like a circus town.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why there would be an elephant that could be hitched to a parking meter.
Yeah.
And two, because somebody probably hitched their elephant to a parking meter and it like ripped out the parking meter. And I'm guessing several other parking meters. And they were like, this costs the city a lot of money. And we don't like it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
A parking meter cannot hold an elephant. You dummy.
So while you're thinking up your thing, I'm going to tell the listeners a story. There are several cities in Florida, including Sweetwater, Florida, which is very near to where the Maverick Studios is, that were founded by circus people. And the reason that is because a lot of these circuses would travel during the warmer states, but then in the warmer months, and then during the cold months, they would vacation in southern Los Angeles or Florida. And what would happen is at some point they would just come down, and when people would retire from the circus, they would retire during the off season. And where would they settle? Where they were wintering. And they would winter in Florida and stay, and that they founded a lot of the cities here.
Yep.
So there's a lot of laws on the books that are only really laws because the cities were founded by circus folk who
I found out
had like pet tigers and elephants and stuff.
I found out recently there's like a circus cemetery in Florida somewhere.
Wow.
And I want nothing more than to go and see it. Like, it's
what do you
just
think it's going to be?
It's going to be just the most whimsical cemetery. I'm going to find it and send it to you. I'm going to find it and send it to you.
A bunch of tombstones that are just pinwheels.
Yeah. Yeah. You walk in and it's like, da 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 la la da da da, yeah, da da la la da da da, yeah, da da da, yeah, da da da.
Just a trapeze with nobody on it, swinging back and forth.
That's creepy. No, that's creepy. That's too scary. That's too scary.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. It is illegal to wear heels over 3 inches in Indiana.
Okay.
It's illegal to wear clothes with obscene material in Arkansas. It's illegal to sell dog and cat fur in New York. It's illegal to modify the weather without a permit in Colorado.
Okay, I feel like the modifying the weather without a permit is a real thing that I read somewhere. So I'm going to say that one's true.
Also, like, what a weird thing to make up.
Yeah. I think the high heels in Indiana is the fake one.
It is the fake one.
Yes.
You got it.
Awesome.
You got it. You fell for you did not fall for
I did not fall for that trick. Yeah, because what would all the politicians' mistresses wear then if they couldn't wear heels over 3 inches?
Yeah.
No, I knew I had read about it is illegal to modify the weather. And you're
what
like,
does that even mean?
You can salt clouds to make it rain.
Make it rain!
Make it rain. Yeah, you can salt clouds and it'll make the cloud heavier with rain and then make it rain where you want it to.
You would like go in an airplane and just
dump salt out of the clouds. Yeah.
Wow,
but what this does is, if you think about it from an environmental point of view, you're making a huge impact.
Yeah.
Because now rain that is supposed to be falling somewhere else naturally is being changed by human beings.
But are you also changing the chemical makeup of the rain? Is it now like salty rain?
Oh, maybe also, yeah. That probably doesn't help either.
So you're messing with, I don't know, the pH or the salinity or something.
Probably, yeah. Well, it's salty rain. Seems
not great.
No, definitely not for plants. They don't like the salt.
Yeah, not for plants.
Yeah.
Not for anything that's not about that brackish water life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Everglades, fine. Anywhere else, not good.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Factor 5. That was a pretty fun game.
That was a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
I will say there's a thing that I like in a game, which is that pressure of like trying to make something up. That like pressure that you feel in the game where you have to like kind of perform or say a thing or do a thing. I like that feeling. Some people may not.
Yeah.
I like the categories. I think they were good. The cards are so glossy.
I know.
They are just an oil slick.
Yeah, they're very glossy.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually give them when you go to the gas station and there's that puddle of gasoline on the ground that's like rainbowy. That's what I'm gonna give the cards.
Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah. The box, I'm gonna give the box a canvas and an art store. It actually looks a lot like the improv t-shirts you have.
Oh, okay.
On canvases in your apartment.
Yeah. It does kind of look like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great box. It's flat.
Yeah.
So you could put it easily in a suitcase, but definitely not in a purse.
No. Yeah. It's too big. So they've sacrificed width and length for thickness.
Yes.
With this game.
Yeah. It's a perfect square. You could easily put it in a suitcase though. That would not take up a lot of room in a suitcase.
Right. Yeah. It's flat. It's a flat game. Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently it's a choking hazard. I got to think it's for the dice.
It's the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think about playability? Our 2-player version of a 3 to 8 player game.
Our 2-player version was fine. It's just, we have to take that moment to think of the thing, which is not great for a podcast when you have the silence where you're trying to think. But I think if you're playing this in a group of friends, everybody can just sort of talk amongst themselves while you're thinking up what your fact is going to be. Yeah.
And I think there's a way where like the person is getting the cards a little bit sooner so they can kind of make up whatever is going to be. Yeah. I had fun. I tricked you a lot.
You did. Yeah. So and we laughed a lot. So I think it's a fun game.
I tricked you a lot. I'm good at making up fake facts.
Yeah. I can't so quickly on the spot.
I cannot wait to Google Napoleon attacked by bunnies. I cannot wait to Google it.
Yeah. All right. So, little ghosties, I hope you get to a computer as quickly as possible so that you can
I'm doing it right
do
now.
A search for Napoleon attacked by bunnies. And we will catch you next time on Playdate with Dash and Allie. Bye. Thanks for listening, everyone. Now we'd love to hear from you.
You can visit playdatepod.us to watch our videos,
access our episode library,
find out more about our brand of quality, clean comedy,
and contact us with any questions or comments.
Improvisers love audience suggestions, so make sure you visit playdatepod.us.
And the podcast you just heard was a production of Society Circus Players.
If you like what you heard today, please rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend.
And finally, if life's a circus, we're the clowns!
The Great Bunny Attack of 1807. This is from SmartyPantsMagazineForKids.com, by the way. They nibbled at his gold buttons and gnawed his boots. Napoleon could not position his weapon to shoot them. His military men tried to drive them off with riding crops, whips, and sticks. They succeeded in this maneuver enough to allow a humiliated Napoleon to retreat to his carriage. Oh, and okay, so here's some more. This is from oxexplore.org. Oh, this is a .org, so it has to be legit. This says, so I guess they were like trying to go hunting or something. And this dude named Alexandre Bathier brought 3,000 rabbits to begin the hunt, but they were tame farm animals. And instead of seeing him as a threat, they saw him as a source of food.
Oh no.
So they just started nibbling. And then he ran away to his carriage. Aww. Oh, Napoleon. I'm going to read this mental floss one later because it's probably actually facts.
Fun.